Hello friends, welcome to Lambda Geeks. This is Durva Dave. In this video, we will try to find out how do you calculate time in projectile motion. First of all, let us try to understand what is projectile motion. It is the motion of an object when thrown or projected into air that experiences only the action of gravity. This projectile motion is a special case because the motion takes place in both the x and y component of the coordinate axis. How to calculate time in projectile motion? The time of flight of projectile motion is defined as the time from when the object is projected to the time it reaches the ground. To calculate the time in projectile motion, one needs to know the initial velocity, the angle of launch, and the height of launch relative to the landing elevation. And thus, our equation becomes something like this, where t is the time of flight, u is the velocity of the object, theta is the angle of projection, and g is the acceleration due to gravity. Here, sin theta is used as there is a change in the vertical component. If there was a change in the horizontal component, then cos theta would be used. How to calculate projectile motion with air resistance? The motion of an object through a fluid is one of the most complex problems in science, and it is still not completely understood to this day. One of the reasons this problem is so challenging is that there are various different forces acting on such objects, including gravity, drag, lift, thrust, buoyancy, bulk fluid motion such as wind, inertial forces such as the centrifugal forces, etc. The magnitude F of the air drag force is approximately proportional to the square of the projectile speed relative to the air, and the equation for it is given as F is equals to dv square, where F is the magnitude of air drag, d is a constant which depends on the intensity of the air. According to Newton's second law, for both the horizontal and vertical coordinates become something like this, where Vx is the horizontal velocity and m is the mass of the object. This equation can also be written as where smaller c is equal to capital C into capital D square, where capital D denotes the diameter of the spherical object and the coefficient capital C depends on the nature of the medium. For a spherical projectile in air, capital C will be equal to this value, and small b in case of spherical object equals to capital B cross capital D, where capital D denotes the diameter of the spherical object and the coefficient capital B depends on the nature of the medium. For a spherical projectile in air, capital B becomes something like this. The formula for y component is given as where Vy is the vertical velocity and g is the acceleration due to gravity. This equation can also be given as where the value of c and b remain the same as we saw earlier. How to solve projectile motion problems without angles? There can be many different ways of finding the missing angles of a projectile motion. There can be chances that the object is thrown from a ground and reaches the ground. In such cases, the initial height and final height of the object will remain the same. But what if the initial height and final height of the object is different? This case is a little more complex than the former. Let us now explore both the scenarios. We do not have the direct formulas for finding the angle, but one can derive it. First, let us explore the case where the initial height and the final height of the object are same. As we saw earlier, when an object is in projectile motion, it has x and y, both the components. Two initial formulae are required to object the final formula. First is the time in air for y direction, the equation for which looks something like this, where y is the final height in y direction, y0 is the initial height in y direction, and v0y is the initial velocity in the y direction. Here, t is time and g is the acceleration due to gravity. Here, the second formula that we need is the time in air for x direction, which looks something like this, where x is the distance in x direction, v0x is the initial velocity in the y direction, and t is time. Now we know that at any moment an object will have both x and y components. So v0y will be equal to v0 sin theta and v0x will be equal to v0 cos theta. One can replace v0y and v0x with their respective values and substitute it into the initial formula. As the initial height and final height is 0, y and y0 becomes 0. Therefore, the equation now becomes something like this. Here, the negative sign is used before 1/2 gt square, as g is always negative in projectile motion as it works in the opposite direction. When we rearrange the terms in the equation for x, we get t is equals to x by v0 cos theta. Substitute this value of t into the equation of y and the formula looks like this. Simplifying this equation is a long process, but once simplified, the problem becomes easier. On simplification, this equation becomes something like this. And finally, we get the formula for theta. Given that the problem should mention the distance that the object travels in x direction and the velocity with which it travels. If not, one will have to derive that too. Now, let us have a look at the second case where the initial height and final height are different. For deriving the general formula for theta, we used the same type of equation that we used earlier. The time for object taken in y direction and the time for object taken in x direction. Again, v0y and v0x will be replaced by v0 sin theta and v0 cos theta respectively. Here, the initial height and final height of the object will not be the same, and thus the equation looks something like this, where h is the initial height, and again negative sign is used as g is always negative in projectile motion as it works in the opposite direction. Assuming that time t is not specified, then rearrange the equation of x, which becomes t is equals to x upon v0 cos theta. We will again substitute the value of t derived from the equation of x into the equation of y, and the formula now becomes something like this. Simplifying this equation is even tougher and a long process than the former equation, as we have more than one variable in this equation. For now, let's not get into the simplifying process and head directly towards the final formula. Thus, the final formula that we have now is this, where phi is equals to tan inverse x by h. Given that the problem should mention the distance that the object travels in x direction and the velocity with which it travels with the initial height. If not, one will have to derive that too from other equations of projectile motion. This formula was for finding the angle when an object is thrown from a higher surface and reaches the ground. Thus, we need the initial height. But if the object is thrown from the ground and reaches to a higher point, then the initial height will become 0 and the problem will have to mention the final height of the object. Time of flight of projectiles. The time of flight in projectile motion is the time gap between the object being launched and reaching the ground. The magnitude of the starting velocity and the angle of the projectile define the time of flight, which is denoted by t. The formula for time flight of projectiles is the same that we saw earlier, which is t is equals to 2uy upon g, where uy is the vertical component, and thus sin theta will be used. And the equation becomes something like this. The horizontal projectile motion formula. Horizontal projectile motion is the motion in which an object is launched horizontally from an elevated plane rather than from the ground. The launch angle does not need to be specified because it is parallel to the ground, so the angle will be 0 degree. As a result, we only have initial velocity component, that is Vx, which will be equal to v, whereas Vy will be 0. In this case, the horizontal acceleration will be 0 as the horizontal velocity is constant, whereas the vertical acceleration will be the negative of gravitational acceleration. Formula for the range of projectile. The total horizontal distance traveled by the object during its flight time is defined as its range, and thus it is usually influenced by the horizontal velocity or speed. There will be no effect of acceleration along this path, since the only force of action that occurs is the gravitational force. If the object is being launched from the ground, which means that its initial height will be 0, then the formula of range is given as r is equal to u square sine 2 theta upon g, where r is the range, u is the velocity of the object, theta is the angle of projection, g is the acceleration due to gravity, and again sin theta is used as vertical component is involved. According to the equation above, the maximum horizontal range can be obtained when the projectile angle theta is 45 degrees. So the equation will become r is equal to u square by g. Now sin theta is equals to 45 degree. So 2 into 45 is 90 and sin 90 equals to 1. That is why the formula we obtained will be equal to r is equal to u square by g. Kinematic equations for projectile motion. There are two components to the initial velocity, horizontal and vertical. The horizontal component of initial velocity is ux, and it is given as ux is equals to u into cos theta, where u is the distance in the horizontal direction and theta is the angle. And the vertical component of the initial velocity is uy, and it is given as uy is equal to u into sin theta, where u is the distance in vertical direction and theta is the angle. Thank you for watching this video.
Please visit our website lambdageeks.com for more articles on technology, engineering, mathematics, and various other domains. You can check our other website as well. We have features like YouTube Trends, Twitter Trends, Scientific Calculator, and many more other tools. If you like our video, please like, comment and share. If you have any questions, please comment and we will resolve your query.